Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome. We are here, as you can see, at Wellington Airport. So you can see it right out the window there. So I've got to get the airplane ready. We're going to have 5 passengers with us today. Alright, so we're going to get the refueling truck heading over. Since we're at a bigger airport, you know, we're going to do a little bit more than maybe normally we do. So get that on. We want our taxi lights on. Let's see, 1, 2, clear that. We're going to want the full screen for that once that comes up. Alright. So the fuel truck is in position. Block fuel, I need 1,000 pounds. 1,027, so we don't want to be short, so we're going to go with that. At this point, he's there, getting ready to fuel us up. On these little planes, but you know, it's not quite the same. Alright, so I'm going to want to put the fuel on auto. I can't get the engine started yet because we've got folks coming. Alright, I'm guessing he's done. Refueling complete. Alright. So at that point, we can go ahead and we can get folks boarded. And what that normally does is there will be a bus that'll come. Well, it'll ask us if we want to board crew, but obviously we're already on board. So we're not going to worry about that. But yeah, I am over here at P, which is where I had pulled off before, but not quite to the gate here. So wherever the people are at, they're a little ways away, because I need them boarded before I can do much of anything else. In the meantime, we can get in here to the flight display. So let's see, 5, 6, 7, now 4. 4 is what we want. Alright, so we're going to go to the flight plan. We are at Nzwn. Normally I do this off, but since we're a little bigger and we're waiting, we'll go ahead, and then we are going to Nzwn-Nns. Nzwn-Nns, which is Nelson, as you can see. And then we're going to have an en route waypoint of Lubzi, so New Zealand. So 51 nautical miles, that seems about right. And then we'll go to our procedure. So we are going to depart out of runway, why runway 16? That's interesting. I wonder if it's because I have that departure? Yeah, I don't know. Because in theory, I could take off on 3-4, but it's... So, is runway 16 the one that's open? I don't know. Alright, well, it doesn't really matter. It's one runway. And I don't know that we need those transitions. I guess I wonder if I can see here where it's taking me. Because, yeah, that's ZWN, because we are flying between the islands now. So, okay, Lubzi. and we're leaving NZWN. So it's loop Z, and then Nelson is over there. Alright. So I guess we'll load that. Yeah, see, that's not what I really want. So let's go back here. Can I do no departure? Because I don't know that there's a departure I really want to be doing. Let's see if I can find something here. So what if I do event EQ to loop Z? So let's see if I do that. That's better. That's at least a little bit of a route that makes sense. So then we'll go back to the procedure and then arrival. There should be loops 2C is what SimBrief is suggesting from no transition, and then okay, but I did not. I want to be on runway. No, see, I don't want to be on runway 2. I want to be on runway 20. So I don't know. In theory that works, but I'm just not sure that that's really where I want to be, but it won't let me pick the other one. So we'll try that. Alright, and that is about what it was gonna do. It's a long way around, but that's kind of the approach that it wants. Now, can I go down? Because Rismo, so I'm sure I should be at 3,000. So let's see, what does it tell me? Just wondering if I can find this. Alright, so loop Z2 Charlie. I just need to see where I'm at here. Alright, so it's actually telling me 6,200 is where I should be there. But then that's what it's running me to the whole way. I mean, there is a lot of, looks like a lot of mountains over here. So, but yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's coming up around the valley. I think I definitely want to follow the flight plan here, because otherwise I think I'm just really running a risk of having a really uncomfortable situation. Alright, so I assume I boarded. They didn't really say anything. Boarding completed, so we're going to push back. Alright, so they'll be coming to take care of that. Now I'm going to want, I think, the nose left and the tail right. Hi, how you doing? Alright. They always get upset when I turn the parking brakes off early, which I guess they should, but get this all turned on. Alright, so the other thing I want to do is I want to get this up there. Oh goodness. Alright, I thought he had told me to do whatever, but I guess not. Alright. So, see, and this is where I'm always confused. So, if they're pushing back and I want to go to the right, like I think that's what this means. So, we'll see. Because I'm thinking, you know, that puts my nose in the right direction. I guess we'll see where we end up. So, there we go. We're starting to move. I want to be facing toward the right. Yeah, you see, he's spinning me the wrong way. Ay, ay, ay. I just do not understand. I always get this backwards. One of these days I'll figure it out. But yes, I'm facing the wrong way, which is fine. It's a small plane. I'm here at the end. I'll have enough room to move. Well, unless, well, maybe he's spinning me all the way around. So actually, maybe this is working. He's just the most uncomfortable position. Yeah, this is about where I wanted to be, so. We'll see where he ultimately ends. Alright. Okay. So now we want to do our engine start. So that should get the propeller. I'm like, what is happening? Why is it taking so long? So we gotta wait until the NG's about 20%. And then we're going to get that up there. Then we're going to get to 50%. And once we have that, we'll be in good shape. Alright, so we're going to move that up, and then ultimately over here, so we have a good engine start. So we can let them know so that they can disconnect. You know, now the bad news is this guy's gonna like get in here with the propeller spinning, but that's how it works. So he'll probably put his head in here in the cockpit again. We'll get that all done. All right, the bleed off, really? Oh, the bleed off. That's here. I need the bleed on auto. So that should get me there, and we want the inertial separation on, because that is what ultimately keeps things out of the engine. But we are about ready to get moving here. Once they give us the all clear. There he is again. I mean, I suppose he's not getting hit by the propeller, otherwise we would, but it's a little disconcerting to have his head floating inside the cockpit. So, I don't want to look at him, but there he goes. Alright. So, now he's free. He's going to wave us off at some point and tell us we're good. So, putting the hand up. Alright, let's go to our lights. There we go. We want the strobe on, the nav off, or the pulse off. I think the nav's okay on. And then landing lights on. Everything else I think is in good shape. I have my autopilot on. Alright. Gear unsafe. Oh, why is the gear... That was weird. Alright. Oh, I see. Because I hit the gear instead of the parking brake. Silly me. Yeah, that would have been really unpleasant. Just drop down onto the ground. Alright, so we're taking off 1-6, I guess. So I need to head out and then turn to the left. once we get moving here. So that'll be the taxi, and then we've got a little ways to go, although I probably don't need to go all the way down. So we'll probably just head over maybe one taxiway, maybe to I forget what Q is. I'm bad with the because yeah, we're on Papa. We're going to ultimately be taxiing over here on Alpha, which is what this is that we're headed to now. And then we're going over to, I don't know, I'll have to look up Q. Q is now drawing a blank, but this would be it. And I don't know that I need more than that, because this is a pretty long runway as it sits. So we're all set here, and then we're going to turn, and we are going to go. Because we're not using ATC in the game, because it's a mess, as most would tell us. Alright. So throttle up. And here we go. Actually, I may be going the wrong way, but that's all right. I'm going now. So I'll just have to turn around once I take off. But yeah, we still have half the runway left as far as distance. I think I'm all right. We're heading... Oh no, I should be going the other way. That's okay. Alright, so we'll get the flight directors on so they start doing their thing. I don't need to be taking off at this crazy angle, because I'm at like 2,000. But this is probably why we don't take off in this direction. Get the yaw damper on. Get nav on. And then once I get... Alright, let me pull this back. But we'll get the gear up. And should be circling around the airport soon. Alright. And we do that, and VNav. And then it should get us on to the proper heading before we know it. Whoops. So we're good there. Airport is right there, so again, it would have probably been cleaner if I took off a different way, but we didn't, so it's okay. We're here at the shore now and lining up and doing what we need. But let me look, because right now, yeah, he should be eventually heading to 6,200 feet. So that's why I'm not quite sure what it's doing right now. Because it's descending, which makes no sense at all. But maybe once he locks on, it'll be a little bit better. And then it's just going to head on out to the bay, and we'll be all set. Alright, well, at some point I'm going to have to override this, or we're going to have a disaster. I don't understand what it's doing. Alright, so now it's on V-alts. Let's see. Is it changing? Come on. Alright, it's not, so we are going to override this. Take it to about 1,500 VNav, and we'll get ourselves up and at them. So 71 nautical miles, but I think we're going to be doing a lot of flying around. So yes, at this point I can turn this off, get that to go away. Now if I turn this on, will it do something different? Probably not. So let's see. If I do the altitude selector to, what was it, 6,200, I think? Yeah, because the problem is, like, Urbum doesn't have a height. So let's see. So if I go to the procedure, no. Alright, so maybe waypoint info? No, it's not telling me anything. Oh, okay. Well, we're not going there. Waypoint info. Distance. Is it increasing yet? It is not. Alright. So I'm just going to take matters into my own hands and get myself up to the level that we need to be. And it's going to be kind of hard to tell at this point, but I think the other island is much more mountainous, and so I don't want to be arriving at some insanely low position and then have a problem. Because it's closer than we think. So you can see that's 5 nautical miles. So again, I'm starting to learn this Garmin a bit. 7.5, 10. So that might be a little bit more realistic to have. But we've got 6.7 miles to Ukano, and then we'll end up turning at that point. And again, I could put the flaps away. That will help. Will again give us some more speed in general. Now we are climbing, but even with that, by doing that, we're quicker. And I would think that we're going to get to that 6,200 before we hit the next waypoint. Because this is climbing at a decent clip. And I'll probably put myself at 6,500, just again because in theory, you know, the VFR that we would be at a 500 rather than 1,000. Alright. Oh, I might be wrong. No, we still have 2 miles. And again, my initial target was 6,200, but yeah, we're under 2 miles now. So maybe we won't quite get there, because we're turning in 6 seconds. So we'll be turning soon. There we go. So we're not quite there, but... And now we can see the island much better. Partially because we're higher up, I would think. So I'm sure there's a little bit of that. But yeah, we're making a pretty sizable turn here. And then the question is really, where will we be headed? You know, and can I lower myself a bit? Because Nelson is at 17 feet. so that is very much at sea level. So Clifford Bay is what we're heading toward, is what it's labeled as. Yeah, less than 60 nautical miles, but we've got a pretty roundabout way in and a pretty roundabout approach. So we're heading to this Lubzi nav point or waypoint, and then that is really kind of where we transition from the departure over to the approach. But the approach is definitely an interesting route. So still got, so again, that arc is 10 miles, so we kind of always need to think of that. So when that arc starts to hit land in front of us, then we're about 10 miles to landfall. And we're kind of in the middle of whatever the South Island, however it's sticking out and so forth. But you can see we're turning to the right a little bit to stay out of the hills. I'm thinking I'm going to take a shot and go down. Because I don't know that I need to be over a mile up. I'm not seeing that. It looks like the bigger mountains are inland. I mean, yes, we are going to turn in that direction a bit, but not a ton. So I think I'm going to be okay, because obviously if I can get a little bit lower, we're also going to have a much better view of just what is happening and be able to enjoy that a little bit. So, alright, so as I said, a little bit of a turn to the right, and I think we're basically kind of going to go in here and then head around. So at least right here on this side, you know, and you can see the tall peaks are over there, and I'm assuming that's kind of those things. Oh, maybe it's those. So maybe those we don't even see. Those are like off here somewhere, because they're further away. But am I going? Yes, now I'm going to Lubzi. So you can see Lubzi is just under 25 nautical miles. So that'll give me the bearing. And what's the other one? ADF? Alright. I guess I don't really need either one of those, but so we've been airborne about 11 minutes, and now we are making landfall. Just about now. So we are now, I guess you would say, officially at the South Island. Interesting little, I think that's a natural feature that's running across, kind of segmenting that water off a little bit. There's a little bit of an inlet over here where things can come in. So we're heading toward Blenheim, and I think we're gonna overfly that. So that's right about here. And then we're going past a river. I think this is the river going in that we're seeing. So Lubzi is past that. But right now, these hills are certainly lower. It's possible those mountains are lower too, but I just don't want to get too ahead of myself. But yeah, so we are officially out of the North Island, and now the rest of our time will be spent here over at the South Island. But yeah, those are close, so I don't know that I want to descend anymore, because we're going to be doing some stuff over there, that's for sure. Because we're going to make a very sharp left turn. I'd say 45, 50, 60 degrees maybe to the left once we hit Lubzi in 14 miles. Which again is just over the river, so probably not quite to the mountains. But let's see. So that's Blenheim right there. So decent sized city. Not sure if that's a racetrack of some sort or what we have over there. But you can see the farms around the area, and then obviously the town proper. And yeah, we're nearly over it. And then there's another town, Renwick, that's kind of straight east here, so it's maybe that one. In theory, we'll be flying a little bit north of it. So at this point, we've got, what, 10? Yeah, 10 nautical miles. But once again, that is across the river. So yeah, probably I'd say this would be the town of Renwick. And I'm thinking right about there is where we're gonna hit Lubzi. And then the airport's really almost straight ahead, like up in front of us over there, but we're gonna kind of come around that way. It's 31 nautical miles away, but yeah, now we are definitely passing by Renwick, so I would say that is a smaller town than Blenheim was, but now we've got no towns ahead of us that I can see. I mean, I assume we'll have Nelson that we'll see at some point, but... Alright, 5 miles. So we're not quite to the river yet, so maybe it'll be 4 miles past the river. Again, I'm liking the height. I think I'm okay. It gives me some options in case we start getting close onto terrain. Some pretty big, one of those circles out there are pretty interesting, those things there. Alright, now we're crossing the river, so about 3.5. As I said, it's a good turn. We're basically going to follow the river, it looks like. So we're going to turn and then basically head straight down this way. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're in for in 5 seconds here. But yeah, we won't be near those peaks yet. And so we'll head over that way. And we're doing that for 20 some miles at least, because right now it's telling me 24 to go, but we're entering this really big loop, and I think that's simply because otherwise we'd cross and we have no real way to get where we need to. So if we look, there's runway 2. Yeah, if we flew straight across, it would be an interesting approach. So I think to give us some semblance of possibility here. Now the real question is, because if I'm in the river valley, I mean, in theory I can go a lot lower. The real question is, am I going to stay in the river valley? So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go down to 3,500, and if we see something happening, I'm going to go maybe at 500 feet, because we got a long time that we can descend. And that'll give us a little bit of time, but maybe, you know, we might still have to cross those mountains at a higher elevation, and once I start to see what that looks like, I guess I'll make the call if I need to climb back up or not. But yeah, right now, it's not that much of a river now that you look at it. It's a lot of mud. with a little bit of water. Interesting. But yeah, so we're gonna come over, and yeah, we are gonna cross those mountains. So, so maybe we call it a little bit earlier. Let's just stop it at 4,900. We've come down a bit, but I don't know that we can go too low, or we're gonna run into a problem. I'd love to have gotten down to 30, but right now, like, you can see some of those peaks, if they're gonna be in our way, and we've got a couple a couple areas here where it's a bit much. Alright, I'm gonna go right back where I was. It's a little disappointing, but I'm gonna climb back up, and then we'll go from there. But I think I'm gonna need the height, because it does not look like we're going over anything small at that point. So 5 miles to the next one, and then we start to turn in. So, like, even if we don't pass that peak, I'm a little worried about. Whoa! I'm a little worried about it. I had put my controller down, and then I hit it. Yeah, I might have good height here, but so flying around a little bit from the valley, but I think we basically came from that direction. Kind of came in here and then swooped around. So definitely an interesting viewpoint. A lot of these circles are circle farms. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near where I thought we were. Well, I guess we got one more waypoint. I don't know that we're going to turn much between now and that one. Alright, so now we're at 5,500 again. And then we'll start to see once we get past Lerty. So 226, so we're just going to move 1 degree over. Yeah, I almost feel like we're going to loop around that peak there. But that's just going to be interesting, I'll tell you that. There's a lot going on here, but this is what I expected, I think. A little bit more of that mountainous, trying to have to figure out what you're doing. But it looks like there's like a beautiful, huge waterfall coming from the top of that peak. So that is really, really nice. Let's see what kind of view we can get here. Oh, that's just snow, I guess. But still, it's pretty impressive. Alright, so we are 2 miles, so yeah, we've got a little bit of hope. And we aren't making a sharp turn, so I think we are going to go around that particular peak, which is good. And then we're just going to have to visually see what we're seeing. But yeah, we're going to turn into this valley a little bit. So we're headed to... Not sure what the bearing is we're headed to. 258? 248? No, 258. We're only doing that for 5 miles. Man, I would... Yeah, I would not be able... Even at 5,500, I'm not sure I would cross that peak. But the question is, what's next? So I'm thinking we're going in that gap. So I'm going to start to descend a little bit. We're going to get ourselves down to 5,000. We'll go with that. Whoops. Again, we'll go down 500. It's probably still not going to be enough. So yeah, we're turning right. We're barely descending. So we're gonna go down faster. And I guess the question is, how much are we gonna turn and when? So we're gonna go this way a bit, but are we gonna cross that ridge? Because if we are, I am too low. Oh boy, I think we are. So I think I need to climb some. I think I need to climb some. Quite a sum. My goodness. Yeah, that's gonna make life interesting. I think we're fine, but not by much. I'll tell you that. We are just crossing over.
500.
I'm surprised we even had that much. Alright, now at this point, I think I'm okay. So now I can start going down. So let's go to 3,500, but maybe at a, again, a slow little pace. 500 feet per minute. Although I'm only 18 nautical miles out, so we're gonna speed up a bit. Because otherwise, I think I'm in real danger of being way, way too high again. I'm gonna lower my speed here. Not sure that we have flap indicators anywhere is the problem. Like, I don't get any real errors, but we are coming around here. So yeah, we're 15 miles away. So I'm gonna go down at a faster clip for sure, because we will be there before we know it. And then it's gonna be getting ugly. So I need to be able to get down to 2,500 at least. As we start getting closer, we'll see what everything looks like. But now you can kind of see what we did. We crossed that ridge back there, and now at least we have an approach. I mean, we would have had an approach the other way, I think, but I understand a little bit of what it was doing. I think I can go down to 1,500. Again, I want to be in the best spot I can be. So let's see, if I put on the approach, or this isn't an ILS, never mind. There is no approach I can do, which is why it's just ignoring my stupidity. But yeah, see, we're almost at 10 here, and that's about where you'd want to be at 3,000 feet on a lot of other approaches. And I think 1,500 is kind of that sweet spot of a 3-degree glide slope. So I'm probably going a little bit more aggressively. But let's see. I mean, we appear to have some room. So I'm going to go down to 800. And we'll see what that starts to look like, because we are now 8 miles out. We're still 2,000 feet up. There's just a lot of sun in front. I don't know that I am seeing the airport here. It's kind of going to be on the other side of the bay, it looks like, is kind of where it's taking me. So let me slow this down a bit again. Put get the flaps all the way out.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Alright, we'll do landing gear.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Just need to kind of get this to slow down a bit here. Alright, did it save itself? I think it did. Because yeah, now we're within... I don't know that I see this runway, is my concern. So I'm going to take it down to 600, but I can't say I'm super comfortable with this. Okay, why is it doing this? Alright, so in theory, it's there somewhere. Man, it's in theory like right across the water. I think I see it. There we go. So we gotta go kind of over this way. So I think that's what I see there. Let me see. Alright, I've got a few notches I can go down. Alright. So I think we're in good shape. $140, again, we're at 17 or so, assuming everything's set. In theory, I'm too low, according to the PAPI lights, or whatever. It's the red you're dead, I think, is kind of the way they explain it, but at this point, I'm almost done being over the water. There we go. We've got one white. Alright. So let's see what we can do. There's the last taxi area. And we should be good there. Alright. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I don't know that I want to go. I don't know that I'd want to go there, but I don't know that I want to go to the other one either, because that's more the big terminal. Just a little more challenging for certain. But, you know, a decent little airport again. But this was one of the other taxiways that we could have taken off of here. And then we'll just head up this way. I don't even know what I'm looking at there. But yeah, I think we've just got a lot of parking spots Just kind of right there. Alright, so we can move over and then shut down. And again, we're here. So yeah, we kind of had a spot I missed there, but so it looks like just different little places we could have parked, but it works. So at a negative 16 feet per minute landing, so I almost floated down like a feather, which is not the best. You want to come in a little more aggressively maybe, but made it again. We are now halfway through our New Zealand tour. Finally on the South Island. We've got 5 more flights left here on the South Island. The next flight is our longest one. It's from here to Christchurch, and that is the longest flight in the entire tour. It's over 130 nautical miles, but given the mountainous terrain and stuff, who knows what this will turn into next time. So we will look forward to that. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed things and are enjoying what you're seeing here, please consider dropping a like for the video, as well as becoming a subscriber to the channel. And I will see you next time.